Tab Story 1.
In June 2010, an unfortunate bear attack claimed the life of Erwin Everett, a 70-year-old botanist. Everett, who lived in the Chicago area, frequently spent his summers exploring the rugged terrain of Wyoming's Shoshone Forest near Yellowstone National Park. Known for his enthusiasm and knowledge of the region's plants, Everett enjoyed the solitude of these hikes, reveling in the untouched beauty of the land. Yet even his expertise in the wilderness couldn't prepare him for the horror that awaited him on his last outing. On June 17, 2010, Everett embarked on what was intended to be a routine hike to Kitty Creek drainage area, a place he knew well. Earlier in the week, wildlife officials had captured a large male grizzly in the vicinity, temporarily trapping and tranquilizing the bear as part of a routine tagging and research project. After the bear was fitted with a radio collar, it was released back into its territory, which remained close to the area where Everett was hiking. It's believed that Everett, unaware of the recent tagging operation, unknowingly entered the bear's immediate vicinity. Grizzlies, especially when recently disturbed or still groggy from tranquilizers, can be unusually aggressive if they feel threatened or cornered. As Everett proceeded along the trail, he would have had no idea that he was walking into the danger zone of a potentially agitated animal. In a terrifying turn of events, Everett soon found himself face to face with the massive bear. There were no witnesses to the encounter, but investigators later pieced together the horrifying details from the evidence left at the scene. The bear, likely startled or feeling defensive after its recent interaction with humans, charged at Everett. Even with years of experience in the wild, Everett stood little chance against the sudden, brutal attack. Grizzly bears can weigh up to 700 pounds and reach speeds of 35 miles per hour within seconds. And this bear's assault was swift and merciless. Despite Everett's knowledge of the terrain and his awareness of wildlife behavior, he was overpowered in moments, and the injuries proved fatal. When Everett failed to return home, his wife and friends grew concerned, organizing a search party to locate him. Tragically, hours later, they found his body at the site of the attack. His death sent shockwaves through the local community and the broader scientific and outdoor communities. Those who knew him mourned the loss of a gentle, intelligent man who had dedicated so much of his life to exploring and appreciating the natural world. In response to the incident, authorities tracked down the bear and, due to the level of risk posed to others in the area, made the difficult decision to euthanize it. Everett's tragic death raised important questions and discussions about the protocols surrounding bear management in human-accessible areas. Wildlife experts emphasize that while tagging programs are vital for understanding and conserving bear populations, the public must be informed of recent animal captures and the areas where they occur to minimize the chances of fatal encounters. Grizzly bears, powerful and often territorial, are particularly dangerous when in close proximity to humans, especially after any interaction that might leave them feeling threatened. For those who hike, hunt, or camp in bear country, Everett's story is a sobering reminder of the importance of preparation and caution. Wildlife officials advise that individuals venturing into bear territory always carry bear spray, stay on designated trails, and avoid traveling alone, especially near active research areas. They also recommend checking local notices on bear activity before setting out and making plenty of noise while hiking to avoid surprising a bear nearby.
Story 2.
In the summer of 2010, 49-year-old Daniel Schilling, a seasoned outdoorsman and U.S. Forest Service worker, embarked on a solo trip into the remote, rugged wilderness of Chichagof Island, Alaska. Known for his love of the outdoors and deep respect for wildlife, Schilling was familiar with the Alaskan terrain and had spent years working in areas populated by grizzly bears. Yet even for someone with his experience, the unpredictable nature of the wild held a danger that he could not have anticipated. On June 6, 2010, Schilling set out to check fish wares, a routine task that required him to traverse Dean's Cross streams in an area for its abundant bear population. The island's isolation and rich food sources make it a prime habitat for coastal brown bears, which can be highly territorial and protective of their surroundings. Schilling was well aware of this risk and took standard precautions, but that day he unknowingly ventured too close to a bear. The details of the encounter are sparse, but investigators later concluded that Schilling likely surprised the bear, triggering an immediate defensive response. In a split second, the massive grizzly charged, closing the distance between them with terrifying speed. Schilling, caught off guard, had little time to react. He attempted to defend himself, but the bear's power was overwhelming. Tragically, the attack proved fatal, and Schilling succumbed to his injuries. When Schilling failed to return, colleagues grew concerned and launched a search. Hours later, they found his body, bearing the unmistakable marks of a bear attack. So the grizzly believed to be responsible was later located nearby and euthanized by wildlife officials to prevent future incidents in the area. Schilling's sudden and tragic death sent shockwaves through his community, leaving family, friends, and fellow workers to grapple with the loss of a man who had devoted his life to understanding and conserving the wilderness. The incident served as a stark reminder of the risks inherent in bear country, even for those with extensive knowledge and experience. Alaska's dense forests and isolated landscapes make surprise encounters all too common, and experts advise that anyone venturing into such areas should carry bear spray, make noise to alert animals, and avoid solo trips when possible. Schilling's story stands as a haunting reminder of the wilderness's raw power and the importance of respecting nature's unpredictable and often dangerous elements. For all who seek adventure in the wild, Schilling's experience highlights the need for caution and preparedness when sharing the land with powerful animals like the Alaskan brown bear. Never be subjective when entering bear territory. Always keep your life first. The video ends here. See you again in the next videos. Goodbye.
Story 3.
In June 2021, a tragic bear attack claimed the life of Carl Mock, a 40-year-old avid outdoorsman and experienced hunter in Alaska. Known for his deep appreciation of the wilderness, Mock frequently explored the remote backcountry of the state, often taking solo trips to hunt and fish in its pristine landscapes. However, on this fateful outing, the very beauty of the wild would become the backdrop for a horrifying encounter. On June 2nd, 2021, Mock was in the Wrangell St. Elias National Park, a sprawling expanse known for its stunning scenery and rich wildlife, including grizzly bears. That day, he had set out to fish along a remote riverbank, immersed in the tranquility of nature. Little did he know that the presence of bears in the area posed a significant danger, especially as they were increasingly active in search of food during the summer months. So as Mock focused on his fishing, a nearby grizzly bear, possibly drawn by the scent of his catch or the movement of his activity, approached the scene. Witnesses reported hearing commotion followed by the chilling sounds of a struggle. To believe that Mock may have inadvertently startled the bear or gotten too close, triggering a sudden and aggressive response from the animal. Within moments, the bear attacked, catching Mock off guard. The ferocity of the attack was swift and brutal. The bear's immense strength overwhelmed him. Rescue teams were alerted when Mock failed to return home that evening. Search efforts commenced, but the remote location made the search challenging. Tragically, when the team finally located him, they found Mock had succumbed to the injuries inflicted during the bear encounter. The details of his death painted a grim picture of the sheer power of nature and the unpredictable threats lurking within it.
Story 4.
The story of Todd Orr's harrowing encounter with a grizzly bear in 2016 is a powerful tale of survival that quickly became legendary for its sheer terror and his resilience. Orr, a 50-year-old outdoorsman, an avid hiker from Montana, was no stranger to the wilderness. With years of experience navigating the remote trails near Ennis, Montana, he had encountered bears on numerous occasions and was well prepared for the risks involved. But nothing could have prepared him for what he would face one October morning. when he found himself fighting for his life in not one, but two consecutive attacks by a grizzly bear. On the morning of October 1st, 2016, Orr set out for a hike in the Madison Valley, a place he knew well and loved. Armed with his bear spray and a deep understanding of bear behavior, Orr was cautious, making noise as he hiked through the dense brush. Yet, despite all his precautions, he suddenly spotted a female grizzly with two cubs about 80 yards up the trail. Before he could react, the bear saw him too, and within seconds she charged. Orr knew he couldn't outrun grizzly, and that bear's spray would be his best defense. As the bear closed the distance, he sprayed, creating a cloud between them. But the grizzly was undeterred. With terrifying speed, the bear was on him, swiping at his head and shoulders, knocking him to the ground. Orr's training kicked in, and he played dead, hoping the bear would lose interest. But the attack continued. The bear bit his arms and shoulder, crushing him under her massive weight. She clawed at him, leaving deep, jagged wounds. Yet somehow the bear eventually backed off, and Orr, bruised and bloodied, managed to sit up. Realizing he was still alive, he knew he had to get out quickly. Incredibly, Orr mustered the strength to stand and start hiking back despite his severe injuries. His scalp was torn open, and his arm was deeply gashed, but he was determined to make it back to safety. After staggering a few hundred yards, he was horrified to see the mother bear charging him again. The bear had returned, and this time she was even more aggressive. Again, Orr dropped to the ground, covered his neck, and played dead. The grizzly continued her relentless assault, biting and clawing him, leaving him gasping in agony. Orr could feel her teeth puncturing his skin and her claws raking across his back. The pain was indescribable, but Orr forced himself to remain motionless, hoping she would lose interest. After what felt like an eternity, the bear finally walked away. When he was sure she was gone, Orr rose to his feet again. Bloodied, his clothing shredded, he began the long hike back to his truck. Every step was excruciating, but his determination pushed him forward. When he finally reached his vehicle, he drove himself 17 miles to the nearest hospital. On the way, he documented his injuries on video, later posting it as a testament to what he had survived. The story of Todd Orr's survival became widely known, not only for the courage he displayed, but also for his methodical approach to bear safety and survival. His horrific injuries included deep wounds to his head, neck, and arms, but miraculously, he would recover and continue to hike and work in the outdoors. Orr's experience serves as a critical lesson for anyone venturing into bear country. Bear encounters can happen even with the best precautions, and being prepared with bear spray, knowing when to use it, and understanding how to act during an attack can save lives. Experts advise anyone hiking in bear territory to carry bear spray, make noise to alert bears, avoid hiking alone, and remain calm if they encounter a bear. In a bear attack, playing dead can sometimes prevent further injury by reducing perceived threat, especially with a defensive mother bear.
Story 6.
In July 2011, the tranquil wilderness of the Kea Peninsula in Alaska became the setting for a tragic and terrifying barefoot clerical life of 40-year-old John Wallace. An experienced outdoorsman and wildlife photographer, Wallace had a deep love for the Alaskan landscape and a profound respect for its wildlife. However, that respect would be tested in a horrifying encounter that would leave a lasting mark on the community. On July 12, 2011, Wallace embarked on a solo trip to explore the rugged terrain near the Kachemak Bay State Park, a popular destination known for its stunning vistas and abundant wildlife. He was well acquainted with the area and often ventured out to capture the beauty of the wilderness through his lens. So as he navigated the trails, little did he know that he was entering a territory where grizzly bears roamed, searching for food before their hibernation period. While Wallace was engrossed in photographing the breathtaking landscape, a nearby grizzly bear, likely drawn by the scent of food or curious about his presence, approached. The specifics of the encounter remain chillingly unclear, but it is believed that Wallace may have inadvertently surprised the bear. In an instant, the situation escalated from peaceful exploration to a nightmare. The bear attacked, displaying the terrifying ferocity that these apex predators are capable of when they feel threatened or startled. Witnesses who were in the vicinity reported hearing desperate cries and the sounds of a struggle echoing through the forest. Despite being an experienced outdoorsman, Wallace was caught off guard, and the bear's sheer power proved overwhelming. The attack was swift, and the brutality of nature struck hard as Wallace fought to fend off the animal. Tragically, he sustained severe injuries, leading to his untimely death. When Wallace failed to return home, friends and family raised the alarm. Search and rescue teams were quickly mobilized to locate him. It wasn't long before they discovered his body near the site of the attack, a grim reminder of the unpredictable dangers of the wilderness. The bear involved was later tracked down and euthanized by wildlife officials to prevent further incidents, a heartbreaking decision stemming from the loss of human life.
Story 5.
On April 12, 2004, Terry Frana's children were playing in the family's backyard when they noticed several black bears roaming around the neighborhood, lured in by the scent of food. In this Florida community, black bears were known to occasionally wander close to homes in search of food, especially with easy access to garbage cans and bird feeders. However, that night the bears were more aggressive, coming close to the house and showing little fear of human presence. When Frana stepped outside to check on her children, she saw multiple bears in the area. Frantic, she called her kids back into the house, urgently trying to bring them to safety. As she turned to make her way back, she was suddenly and violently ambushed by one of the bears. The bear lunged at her, clamping its powerful jaws around her head, dragging her off balance and into the ground. Terry's instinct was to fight back, but the bear was far too strong, overpowering her efforts. She felt the bear's teeth sink into her flesh, its claws raking across her body, tearing at her arms, legs, and torso. The pain was excruciating, and she could feel herself being pulled into the nearby woods as the bear continued its assault. Terry screamed for help, desperate for any chance of escape, but with each bite and scratch, the bear seemed to solidify its grip on her. In a moment of adrenaline-fueled clarity, Terry made a decision to go limp, hoping the bear would lose interest if she appeared lifeless. Her gamble paid off. The bear eventually released her, and she managed to crawl away, battered and bleeding. Weak but driven by sheer will to survive, she staggered back toward her house, collapsing as her family rushed to her aid. Frana was rushed to the hospital with severe injuries that required dozens of stitches and extensive treatment. She had suffered deep wounds to her head, shoulders, back and legs, but remarkably she survived the ordeal. The attack left lasting scars, both physical and emotional, as well as a heightened awareness of the unexpected dangers posed by wildlife even in suburban settings. The incident sent shockwaves through the local community and garnered widespread media attention, leading to increased awareness of bear safety in Florida neighborhoods. Wildlife authorities later tracked down and removed several of the bears in the area to prevent further attacks. The incident highlighted the importance of responsible waste management, as unsecured garbage and outdoor food sources were believed to be the main reason for the bears' presence near residential homes. Terry Frana's experience served as a sobering reminder of the need for caution, even in places where bear encounters may seem unlikely. Experts advise that in areas where black bears are known to roam, homeowners should secure trash cans, avoid leaving food outdoors, and consider removing bird feeders that may attract wildlife. If you encounter a bear, the best practice is to remain calm, make yourself appear large, and slowly back away while avoiding eye contact. Terry's survival story remains a powerful example of human resilience and the will to live. Her encounter underscores the importance of staying vigilant and respecting wildlife boundaries, even in residential areas. While bear attacks are rare, her story serves as a crucial reminder that nature's unpredictability can strike anywhere, and being prepared can make all the difference. Thanks for watching. Bears are amazing animals, but they can also be dangerous if we don't respect their space and behavior. Whether you're hiking, camping, or exploring, always stay aware and prepared in bear country.
Story 6.
In October 2011, 45-year-old Mary Beth Cronin, an avid hiker and lover of the outdoors, embarked on what she thought walk in the quiet woods of Pentop Lakeside. Living near the Apache Sitgreaves National Forests, Cronin often hiked the forest trails, familiar with the area's serene yet rugged terrain. However, on this day the forest held a danger she hadn't anticipated. On October 10th, 2011, Cronin was hiking alone when she unknowingly wandered near a mountain lion's territory. Mountain lions are elusive by nature and typically avoid humans, but they are also fiercely territorial and highly sensitive to intruders. Unfortunately, Cronin's quiet footsteps may have startled the big cat, provoking an intense predatory response. Investigators later surmised that Cronin likely didn't hear the mountain lion until it was too late. In an instant, the mountain lion struck, using its natural stealth to close in on her. Alone in the woods, Cronin struggled to escape the animal's powerful grip, but the mountain lion's strength proved overwhelming. The attack ended fatally, and Cronin succumbed to her injuries. When she failed to return, concerned family and friends alerted local authorities, and a search team was dispatched. Hours later, searchers discovered her body on a secluded trail, bearing unmistakable signs of a mountain lion attack. Wildlife officials later located a mountain lion believed to be responsible and removed it to prevent further incidents. Cronin's tragic story brought national attention to the hidden risks of hiking in mountain lion territory, especially when hiking alone. Experts advise that anyone hiking in such areas should carry deterrents, make plenty of noise, and travel in groups to reduce the chance of surprise encounters with predators. They also emphasize that mountain lion attacks, while rare, can happen when these animals feel threatened or see a person as prey. To Mary Beth Cronin's story serves as a sobering reminder of the unpredictable nature of wilderness areas. It highlights the importance of preparation, awareness, and respect for the powerful wildlife that roams these territories. Her experience encourages outdoor enthusiasts to prioritize safety and to understand that even the most serene trails can hold unseen dangers.